Hey guys, it's finally time to make a split. Today we're going to take a hive that overwintered well. We're going to split it and move it down to my new apiary that I'm making and get that rolling. Today you're going to learn how to take off the winter bee kind, make your splits, look for queen cells. Got a lot of work to do today, guys. Thanks for joining me. And I know you've been waiting to do a split, and wow, we're going to have to find out about this winter bee kind that we put on there. And let's give it a little smoke. Look at them using the top entrance. There's a little spider right there. And we're going to just get this smoked good and see if they use the winter bee kind much over the last few days. It's been on there maybe 3 days now after we had that little cold snap one night. I wanted to feed them again. Let's get this smoked good underneath there. And I'm wondering if there's queen cells in there. That will make the split a little more easier, but really all I want to do today is move out about 4 frames. All right. Wow. Wait a minute. They devoured that in just 3 days. Look at that. That's insane. That's how hungry they were. You saw me put these on. Oh my gosh. I'll replay that video right here so you can see when I put this on, what day it was. All right, let's put the winter bee kind on. Hopefully it sits flat and even. Yeah, it does. That is astounding to show how much bees eat when it's cold out. So let's go ahead and get some smoke on these bees. And wow, they may have starved out if they ate 5 pounds of sugar in that limited amount of time that I had that on there. I'm shocked. Get all the bees off of it. It is completely gone with the exception of a little bit there. That was just so good that I was motivated to put these on during that cold snap. By the way, bees actually stay warm when they eat, and so that helped them to stay warm that night. Of course, this probably is a huge hive. All right, let's take a look. Let's get some smoke on here. This is a top super, and oftentimes I come out of winter with my queen up here in this top super. So we're gonna have to find the queen, and not necessarily as important in making the split, because if we wanted to, we could make this split, and just as long as we have eggs in both the mother hive and the split, it'll work fine. Yeah, I never can stress the importance of feeding bees. I know a lot of you might hear people tell you that, you know, feeding bees isn't really all that important. I assure you that it is. I've spent years learning how to keep bees alive in the winter, and the missing ingredient why a lot of people lose bees in the wintertime is because they're not feeding them going into winter, and they're not feeding them during the winter. Let me pop in here before we make this split and say, guys, thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. I can't tell you how much it helps my videos when you click on subscribe and click on that you like the video. Thank you. Let's get back to make this split. Now, my temperature is going to be in the high 30s every night. That's not going to hurt a split. It's going to be in the 50s, 60s for a few more days, and then we're going to bounce into the 70s. So it's soon enough. Okay, that's your typical looking frame of nectar right there. I'll show you the next one. Here we go again. Lightweight. I'm looking for eggs. When I look like this, I want to see if there's any eggs that are potentially being laid. That would tell me if my queen's up here. And so I'm kind of looking more for eggs at first before I start looking for the queen. And I don't see any eggs. If I don't see any eggs, I usually don't spend any time trying to find my queen. Now, a lot of times when you're doing your inspection, I do find that some beekeepers make the mistake of getting involved too heavily in trying to find the queen. Like right now, my objective is to make a split. I'm not worried about finding the queen. I'm not going to spend my whole life, all my inspection time looking for the queen. Right here we have larvae, eggs and larvae. So the queen is up in this super, or has been recently. So we're gonna have to look carefully. Wow, there's a bee with some bright red pollen in her pollen basket. That's amazing. walking around. Where did she get that red pollen? That's pretty cool looking. All right, let me look for the queen on here. Searching, I don't see her. Ooh, they're kind of on top of each other, so it'd be hard to see if the queen is there. I'm not going to spread them out too much. Let's just keep looking around a little bit. Let's look at this next frame. I use a J-hook hive tool so that I can put it down here, pry up. That breaks loose the propolis seal. For those of you that are new to beekeeping, this is your first year and you're kind of worried about how to use a hive tool, this J-hook hive tool works really well for me. Well, as you can see, there's cap brood in the center and eggs and larvae on the outside edges. This is real typical for me to come out of winter. I purposely feed from the top with my winter bee kinds, and so the queen will get to laying up in these top supers, and that is fine for me. All you have to do is throw a queen excluder under this, get the queen out of there, and then let all that brood hatch, and you're back to having a honey super. Again, don't spend all your time looking for the queen. All you're wanting to find when you make a split is make sure you have eggs in the mother hive and make sure you have eggs in the split. Either one of them can raise their own queen if they have eggs. That's what I'm intending for them to do. It's just a little bit more fun to know. Now that right there on the bottom, if you can see that, that's drone brood. There's no queen cells. Some of you might be looking at that saying queen cell. That's just extra wax comb that has been put there. Stray comb, no problem. No queen cells over here either. Looking for the queen. A lot of good brood in the center. It's amazing how strong this hive is. And all of my hives are like this. Overwintering colonies has become a very enjoyable, very successful thing for me. I don't ever think about losing a hive in the winter anymore. And I know that sounds like I'm blowing smoke, but you can see it firsthand, can't you? Making this split is more important than finding the queen, because like I said, it's so tempting, like I'm doing now, is to waste all of your time inspecting and having the hive open just trying to find your queen. And that might be a waste of time. Unless for some reason you just have to know where to put her. You know, if you're trying to isolate her, trying to move her into another place or something. That's important. But as long as we get eggs in the split and here, the other hive can raise their own queen, and that's what we want them to do. It is so windy right now. It is just crazy windy, actually. Very difficult to make videos. Very difficult to work bees when it's this windy, but we're getting her done. Sometimes you just gotta cowboy up and get her done, right? All right, let's get some smoke on this and let's separate this super and let's take a look at the deep below us. I'm gonna set it on the ground behind me. All right, I got some drone brood here, the white larvae or pupae. It's just drones. Some space of stray comb right there. That's all that happened. That is fine. I'm not gonna fool with it. I'm not gonna remove it. I'm gonna leave it right there. I take the frame out closest to the wall. It has the least amount on it and the least chance the queen to be there. I don't want to roll my queen and kill her. This is a super frame in a deep box. I do that sometimes. I got some pollen in this frame. Look at that. Yellow pollen, nectar. Yep. Quick eyes on it, see if there's a queen. She could be over here. She has been known to walk around, but since I don't see any eggs, anything like that, I'm going to say no problem. Let's get a little smoke on them. Yeah, this is a full hive, isn't it? So again, this is, I think, April the 4th. Coming out of winter with colonies this size is pretty awesome. Got some more red pollen. I don't know if you can see that, but some of these foragers up here have some pink pollen on their back legs. Very beautiful. I have eggs on this frame, and by eggs I mean they have tilted over a little bit. That means the queen laid them about 12 hours ago. So the queen was on this frame 12 hours ago, which means she could still be there. So I'm looking carefully for her. See if she laid those eggs. She'd still be there. I'm not seeing her. While I'm looking for the queen, I'm also looking for frames to bring over to my split. So I need some frames of brood. Need some brood and food for my split. I could work these bees today without any gloves on. They're very gentle. I hate that the wind is blowing this hard. Very lightweight frame, which means there could be brood on it. Oh yeah, a lot of brood on this one. As you can see on this frame, there's a lot of eggs and larvae. Indeed, so let me look for the queen, see if she's on here. You know, it's so windy, it's hard for me to hold this frame. And if I was not a YouTube content creator, I would not work these bees today. It's too windy for me. It's not really doing, you know, the bees any harm, but it's just too windy for me to get out here and try to hold frames up high in the air like this. So this might not be a bad frame. Let's remember this one. We could use this in our split because it's got a lot of eggs and larvae on it. A little bit of cap brood, so we'll keep this one as a thought that could be taken over into our split. This one's a little bit heavier. It's a super frame, and it does have cap brood on it. Look at that. Some pollen, cap brood. Looking for the queen. The reason the last frame would be good is because it has eggs on it too. All right. So this is a good one to take right here because it's got cap brood. We're going to go ahead and put this one in our box. So here's the frame that we just removed. We're going to put it right here, part of our split. We need 3 more. You guys all are interested in making splits. This is a simple way to make a split. It will curtail any swarming for a small amount of time. Not forever, but a small amount of time. Maybe it will curtail a swarm right off the bat, especially if you see queen cells, and then you can move those queen cells into your split. But look at that brood there. You can see larvae, and you can see capped over brood. Now again, this is a good frame of brood that I would like to take. I wouldn't mind taking this just because it's easy, it's available. I'm going to drop it over to the other split over there. Now if I accidentally did something bad and killed the queen, then I'm going to make sure there's eggs in both my split and this mother hive, and they'll raise a queen from that. I'm also checking the bottom of these frames to see if I may possibly have any queen cells down there. So far I haven't seen any queen cells. This would be a good frame for the queen to be on because it's very new comb, new to last year probably. And I could see the queen wanting to lay. It's all prepared for her to lay. There's a lot of different ways that you can make splits, and by no means is this the only way. I make splits differently myself, not always the same, so this is just a way to do it that's quick and easy. They built a little column, a couple of columns there, no queen cells at all. Now the frames that I took out will have to be replaced. So I've got two frames out, right? Yeah, 2 frames out, so we need to put 2 frames in this. Now, the time to put the 2 frames in is now. Got some comb here that's drawn out that I'll give these bees. A couple of frames of drawn out comb. Ooh, that's wide, isn't it? All right. You can see how I've dialed in the feeding where it's not crazy too much, but it is enough to get the bees through the winter. Like, they don't have a ton of food, nor do they have a ton stored. So even though we were feeding them winter bee kinds in the winter, we didn't overfeed them. Some people think feeding them is going to be too much. But we've kind of got that dialed in with the mixture in the winter bee kinds. Winter bee kinds always go on sale August the 1st of every year, and we sell out within a few weeks, if not a month or 2. Looking at the bottom for queen cells, I see none. I need 2 more frames to make a split. I can take them out of the top super if I have to, because there's brood up there. But I'm going to go ahead and look. Now this typically doesn't have as much resources are brewed in it because it's on the bottom. But we're gonna take a look and see to speed things up. We're gonna pull this frame out here and look at the two middle frames, see what's in them. Okay, very little. Now the queen does go back down here to start laying. A lot of people think you've got to reverse boxes. I used to really advocate reversing boxes, but I don't do it much anymore because I just don't feel a need to do that. So now what we're going to do is put this hive back together again. This one is full of larvae and eggs, so those are going to be capped over in just a few days, and they'll be a great workforce in the future. And it has a little bit of cat brood on this side, but we're going to take this one and put it in our split. Okay, it looks good. Let's replace it with a drawn out comb over here. Not bad. All right, let's push everything toward the center so we can alleviate gaps between frames. Keep everything tight. All right. Now let's put our super on. We still need one more frame for our split. That'll give us 4 frames. So we need one more frame. A lot of bees here are bringing pollen in today. Yellow, white, pink, all colors of pollen are coming in today. This is the first nice day we've had to really do much with bees. All right, nothing kept over here, but again, a lot of eggs and a lot of larvae here. All right, so here we go, putting our last of the 4 frames that we're making our split out of in this box here, in this deep box. Again, we're putting the super frame in here because it has the brood on it that we need, and we need to put the brood between 2 of these frames here because pupae is the incubation temperature, and we want to keep it nice and toasty. Let's just put it right here. Yep. All right. Now we need, let's see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's put another drawn comb next to this one. Let's see, let's square everything up good. Get everything close to center. That means a little bit off of this one. And then let's bring everything tight my way, like that. See how I'm moving everything tight toward me? Like that. Now I need one more frame, and I have it right here. I'm gonna put it right here in this gap. Never leave a frame out or the bees will build a comb that you don't want in a certain place where you don't want that comb to be. So be careful to leave a frame out. All right, well, there's our split right there. We're gonna move it into position in our new apiary yard. I like these new lids. I can't say enough about them. They're awesome. These new top covers are my go-to top covers. These are available on our website, so check those out. Okay, I got my hive stand. I got my new bottom board. I need the top cover. All right, here's our split. I'm just gonna set it here for travels as we travel to the next place. And we need a top cover. Beekeepers stay healthy moving big cinder blocks around. At least you stay muscular. All right, let's put the hive stand here. I love these plastic hive stands so much. All right, so I'm gonna bring the hive over here. Oh, my hat blew off. That's how windy it is. All right. There we go. Wow, is it windy. Got a bad storm coming in again in the next day. Maybe tonight and tomorrow. Bad storms, that's why the wind has kicked up. Let's go to the middle one since that's where more of the bees are. It's going to be fun to watch the split, see how it does. We hope they take a new orientation flight. They're about 2,000, maybe 2,000 feet away from the other apiary. This will be where I'll be putting all of my hives here over the next week or two. I got a lot of work cut out. If you guys are new to beekeeping, or if you want to learn more about inspecting your hive, I've got a great video right here helping you know what to look for, like we just did in this hive. How do you inspect your hive? I'll see you over there.